Hi guys, Tech here. I know it's been a little while, but we do have new events coming up, and I did want to go ahead and produce some content around this. What you're seeing below is Shockwave Totem. Now, this build isn't going to be necessarily just Shockwave Totem, it's going to be more of a totem template. Likely, I will either be playing Shockwave Totem or Divine Ire, but it also has a template for Arc, Ice Spear, Holy Flame Totem, and Ball Lightning. So there's a lot of options available for you as far as which totem you would prefer to play. The reason that we're doing totems specifically is totems give you a lot of mobility options, and it makes it very easy when the screen is utter chaos, and in Mayhem League the screen will be utter chaos. It gives you a lot of options as far as avoiding a lot of that chaos. You will die in Mayhem, no matter if you're a seasoned hardcore player. Most of them will die in Mayhem. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. It takes one bad Possessed, it takes one bad Exile, it takes one bad Rare in Delirium, and you're dead. Especially with Arch Nemesis, where now Exiles are probably the least scary of all of them. So this is Shockwave Totem without Ancestral Protector Ring. So this is more like what you would be with while you are leveling. If you want to see more of what it would be like with Ancestral Protector, here is that. And there's a little bit of a gear difference here. This one is on a tab, as well as some other things. It doesn't have inspired learning on it, which the other one did. I used an old build for this, so the gear is not at all even remotely close to min-maxed for any of these builds. But I did want to show the difference. So Ancestral Protector basically is a turret where on Nova skills specifically, so this is specific for Shockwave, or if you wanted to do like an Ice Nova, you could absolutely do an Ice Nova build as well, even though I didn't include a link setup for it. You can just use the crit tree and then just know you need an Ancestral Protector. Now, this is kind of, it won't feel like this while you're leveling, but once you get the ring, it will. An Ancestral Protector is a unique ring. It is in the Path of Building if you are not familiar with it. It's actually a very good ring, especially for Shockwave Totem or Ice Nova Totem. Very, very, very strong ring. And it also gives you a chance to avoid ailments, which is really nice, because there's not a lot of unique rings that provide that. Even though for simplicity's sake, I do have this build basically running Purity of Elements and Determination. And the reason why we're going with both of those is just because Mayhem deals a lot of damage, and you want to have immunities. You really want immunities for Mayhem. And that's just the easiest way to guarantee luck and immunities. So as far as the Path of Building, this is a little bit more advanced. I know I said that last time, but it keeps happening. So you'll see an Act 1 through 10 tree, as well as endgame trees for the 4 basic. So all the cold will be under crit, and then Shockwave's its own thing, Fire's its own thing, Lightning's its own thing. And then this will have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, where you can just follow along and plug and play here. Then once you get to Act 4, you're going to pick one of the totem options. So whether if you want to say Shockwave, if you want to go Holy Flame Totem, Ball Lightning, Eye of Winter, Divine Ire, Arc. I'm debating between Divine Ire and Shockwave. I'm not sure which I will do. They both are very pleasing sound-wise, as Shockwave will have shatters, and Divine Ire has this wonderful like whoomp whoomp sound to it, which is a lot of fun. Then once you pick your totem, you just select here, and then you pick it over here. Then you go to your tree, and then you can just level along with it. I would recommend looking at the endgame tree of whatever you're going to play, as it may be different. Like especially Shockwave. Shockwave's quite a bit different, and it doesn't need those 2 nodes, so we'll just fix that real quick. Shockwave's quite a bit different than most of the others. Most of the others kind of follow the same branch, and that's because they're all basically pure Ellie. Then Shockwave's a little bit different because it's Fizz, and Lightning is a little bit different because we don't want crit, because instead we want crackling speed, because it gives us a lot of cast speed, which is wonderful. Totems and cast speed love each other, and we're going to get lightning damage with non-critical strikes. It's lucky. Another thing to note, you do not want to get this physical node or these 4 physical nodes and Ellie nodes unless you're going Divine Ire. If you are not going Divine Ire, you can simply throw, like you could get Spiritual Aid, for example, instead of those. Same amount of points. But the conversion here and getting these extras is quite a bit of DPS for Divine Ire, as it is a Fizz scale that is then converted into Lightning. If you get this particular node, you'll notice that in the links there is Fizz to Lightning. You don't need that anymore, so you can either do flat added, or you can do Lightning Pin, which is actually, even though it's going to say the DPS is worse, is actually probably the best bet just to counter enemy resistances. So you can do that, but don't do that until you have this particular node. It's 1 node and it saves you a gem basically. So take that for what it is, and you'll only have 10% that's Fizz, which is perfectly fine. The other thing you'll notice is on Shockwave, we're kind of doing the same thing. We're doing cold to Fizz. That's why Shockwave's its own thing. These nodes are really good. And you'll notice I don't really have gems set up. I don't really have cluster jewels or any of that. I'm trying to keep it fairly basic because a lot of people in Mayhem are probably not going to last very long because it is very, very difficult. And I want to forewarn you that it's very, very difficult. You will die. Even if you're a seasoned hardcore player, you're going to die in Mayhem. That is part of it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So if you don't want to reroll a bunch, I would highly suggest playing softcore, either solo self-found or trade league. If you do want to play and get Ancestral Protector, I would highly recommend playing in trade league. The chances of dropping that specific one is pretty low, so you probably want to be in trade league just for ease of access, if nothing else. But if you have questions, there's a very robust note section. It goes through all kinds of details, as well as a bunch of frequently asked questions, and you can always comment down below on the video. I do hope you're having a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, thank you so much, and stay safe out there, Exiles.